Hey y'all, it's Vicky and welcome to another video. So I am back now from my vacation, hiatus, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to talk about what we usually talk about, just general chit chat. Talk a little bit about Timmy. I printed out a comment. I forgot to get it again I meant to get it yesterday and I forgot it again today. Well, anyway, we'll talk about something else besides that. I mean, I've got stuff to talk about Timmy. I don't know if any of you have been watching him while I've been away. I know that Dinger's been away. I've been away. Of course, Blind Views doesn't really talk about Tim anymore. I know that Darlin and Non-Compass have been putting up some videos. Atomic Sage put up some videos. One of the comments was on Atomic Sage's video, so if y'all want to go try to find it, you can. I'm not sure which one it was, but anyway, it was just somebody that looked like Tim, and they also commented on one of my videos saying that we needed to get our own material and all this stuff, and you know, I mean, you could explain it 1,000 times, but there's always going to be somebody else or somebody that thinks they need to say it again. This is my own material. I am talking about other people. I'm talking about Timmy, Nomadic Fanatic, Yankee in the South, anybody else I want to talk about. And then I'll talk about myself. So, and I don't really think when I talk about it that it's that bad. So, but if y'all do, you know, the ones that want to leave their smart aleck comments, if they do, then, you know, I'll shed a tear for them. Or no, let's say this, and I don't know why I start itching here, but I do. Anyway, I believe that they just want something to complain about, and I'll say a little prayer for them. All right. Now, just so you know, there's not really much to say about me. I didn't really do any vlogging while I was over there. I did, you know, do a little thing of the room, but it was short and sweet. I do like Margaritaville, the Island Hotel. This is the one that's actually in the island. There's one right outside that faces the parkway, if you know anything about Pigeon Forge. And then this one is actually in the island. It's a little more expensive, but I kept watching it because I kept hoping the rates would drop, and they did. They dropped the Sunday before we left, so I was able to change it. I was able to change my reservation to, I told you I'm itching up here where I shaved this morning. I was able to change it to the Island Hotel. Now, before I go on and I quit making this video so long, I love the hotel. It's great. They don't have a restaurant. They do have a Starbucks. Well, they do have a restaurant. Take it back. They do. There's 2 restaurants there. But they don't serve breakfast. Anyway. So I thought I'd show you our hotel room here at Margaritaville. There's the shower. Got a chair. Margaritaville shampoo and conditioner and body wash. And this is our view. Mountains. Which, you know, that doesn't really matter because Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg is breakfast towns. You know, you're supposed to get a pancake when you're there. I didn't have a pancake, but that's what you're supposed to eat when you go over there. But anyway, I didn't eat one. We were on the fountain side where the big fountain is. And that's good and bad. The bad thing is, if you want to sleep, if you're someone like me that goes to bed fairly early, before 9 o'clock or even 9 o'clock, you're not going to go to sleep until after midnight. One reason is they've got all those dinosaurs over there right now who make noises. They don't cut them off till 11 o'clock. And the first night we were there, they went till midnight. Also, the lights from the sky wheel go all night. They're never off. So there's lighting coming in the room. You can get it cut out pretty good, but there's still going to be just a little bit there. So if you don't like bright lights, that's another thing. You want to ask for either the village side or the river side, if that bothers you. Now, if you enjoy sitting out on the balcony and watching people, then that's probably okay. Now, I did sit out there some and watch people, but I was in the sun during the day or when we were there, so I didn't really sit out there that much. And that was also when I was kind of coughing, and every time I got hot, I cough. I'm still that way. If I get hot, I start coughing. Now, I did email my doctor yesterday, and she said she was going to call me in some new medicine, but I hadn't seen it yet that it's ready. And that's about where I'm at right now with that. All right. Now, let's go on to Nomadic Fanatic, and then we'll go to Timmy. Okay, Nomadic Fanatic, him and Diane are up at the Blueberry Festival in Paradise, Michigan. And they went to, they ate some blueberry pie, blueberry buckle, blueberry banana bread, and blueberry kettle corn. I'm not a blueberry person, so none of this stuff interests me. As a matter of fact, most all of it sounds pretty sickening, but that's just me. And they went to a record store. Of course, he collects records, so he bought some Metallica, Rat, Bad Company, and Star Wars soundtracks, and a Walt Disney music collection. So he must be bringing in the bucks. And then they go back to camp, and they're going to head west toward the Michigan Peninsula, stopping at a roadside park for a snack. They also visit Marquette to go to a record store. That's, we've already talked about that. And then they eat Thai food and pizza. And the next morning they go shopping. And again, they're going to the northwest tip of Michigan's Upper Peninsula to a remote campground. Oh, how romantic. And then they're going to be heading to Wisconsin. I guess on the way back to Arizona. I don't know. And the only reason I bring them up is because, I know that Blind Views is kind of he's taking a hiatus. So I thought somebody might want to know what's going on with him if they don't watch him. But it doesn't sound like anything. Sounds like normal stuff. I didn't see that he complained about anything. Of course, I did do the AI thing, but I still watched most of it. I didn't really hear him complaining, but whatever. Okay, Tim. Tim is preparing to travel. And it's a good thing that there's no storm, because he would have been hit by the storm as long as it's taken him to prepare. He was preparing to travel before I traveled. And he's still preparing to travel. Is he really going to travel? Okay, some people seem to think Tammy's around. I do think she is around. Is she traveling with him? I don't know. It may have been that she flew down there if she's, in Charlotte or wherever she's at, and he's taking her back. I don't know. Some people said they thought they saw her in that video where he's at that park. I don't think that was her. If it's her, then she must have. I don't want to be rude or anything, but it just didn't look like her. They looked like they lifted weights. Let's put it that way. They looked like a more masculine built Tammy. So I don't think that was her, but then again, it could have been the way the camera was, but anyway. And I honestly think if it was her, after it was mentioned, he would have taken that part out. But anyway, it was in the video where the dog poops in the video. Okay. He doesn't know what to take. He doesn't know if he should take the Weber grill or whatever. Now, my thing is that, is he coming back to this campground? You know, what is he doing? Is he going to be gone a month? Is he going to let the weather decide how long he's gone? I don't know. Anyway, he's claiming he's down to 193, I think. And, you know, I can tell he's lost some weight, but I don't know. And I don't really care how much weight he loses or gains or whatever. I don't think he looks like he thinks he looks, but that's just my opinion. And that's not a dig. That's just, I'm just stating that I don't think he looks like he thinks he looks. But then again, I'm sure they think I weigh 300 pounds, but I don't. And I don't mean to keep throwing me in there. It's just, I guess that gets rid of some of my guilt. I don't know. Because I do feel guilty at times talking about it. But I'm not saying anything bad. He doesn't, like I said, he doesn't know. All he knows, he's heading north on I-75. And he emphasizes the proper preparation for the trip. And I understand that when he's hauling a trailer. He's not hauled it for a year. I know JJ did a video of him being scared. I do think he's scared. I'd be scared too. I'll be honest with you. I'd be scared too hauling that thing when I've not hauled it in a year. Why didn't he do a short trip first? Why didn't he pull it to, you know, across the state to, I don't know, Daytona, somewhere over there, camp for a night at, you know, some truck stop or whatever, and then go back, and that way he would be in practice again. I mean, that's what I would have done, but that's just me. I wouldn't just pull it out and start to travel thousands of miles, but we don't know how far he's going. If he's going to Charlotte, you know, I looked again at some more campgrounds in Charlotte besides the one at the racetrack. There's a few others, but most of them, like the one at Carowinds, is already shut down. And I don't even know if he opened up this year after the storm, but I just know it says closed. Then there's a couple of them in South Carolina that are open, but they're not cheap. And there's some love truck stops that are around Charlotte, but not many. And, you know, I don't know what else. I mean, there's Walmarts, but I can tell you right now, I would not stay all night in some of them Walmarts in Charlotte. No way. No way, Jose. Okay, is there anything else I wanted to say about him? Oh, yesterday he did go look at Ford trucks again. You know, he tries to talk about how much that his and the camper is worth $100,000. That's ridiculous. I happened to go look at RV Trader, put in his camper to see if there was any like them. Now, I didn't find any like his nationwide. I mean, I take that back. There was one, but I think it was a 2022. His camper is nowhere near worth $40,000. The most I think he could get out of that camper would be between $25,000 and $30,000, and I think it would be closer to the $25,000. So he's really leading you on there. And I mean, I did not see any 2024 campers like his, but there was some others that were, you know, close to like his, but not the exact, you know, because he thinks his floor plan is so special. If that floor plan was so special, Flagstaff would be rolling them out as fast as they can if that was the one that was selling. Y'all know that that's not the floor plan everybody wants. I'm not saying it's bad, but everybody wants something different. But if that was the one everybody were going in there and asking for, they would be making more of them, and you'd see more on lots. Now there's one on the lot here that is similar to it, but it has instead of the recliners, it has the booth type seating. And I don't know which one I would want if I were buying. I'm not gonna buy one like his just because it's like his, but I'm just saying, if I didn't know Tim or whatever, and I was looking at that, I would almost want the one with the booth, because that way, if you wanted to take somebody with you, you could. Of course, I doubt I would ever take anybody with me, but I'm just putting it out there. That's all I'm going to say today, because like I say, I don't want to make this thing so long, although it's 14 minutes, but I got to go to work, so I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you again, hopefully tomorrow. Love you. Bye.